Hi everyone, it's Tyrone from tyroneshum.com and welcome to the dedicated channel where I share with you outsourcing and automation tips. Today I've got a special guest on the call and she's somebody who I've admired and also followed for quite some time as well. And also too at the same time, I've interviewed her previously, going back probably a few years ago now actually. And the reason why I've got her on the call today is because she's got a very interesting story to share. And not only that, she's also got some really good information and some really cool content to be able to share with you about blogging, because that's something that's where I originally started. And also too, how I met this person, her name's Karitia, was through Blog Mastermind, which is through Yaris Durat's program. So we've all connected some way through another, and I have to thank to a lot of all these people who have supported me in the years of my blogging career that, they've been really, really helpful and also share a lot of great tips. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Karitia. So welcome to the call, Karitia.
Thank you so much, Tyrone.
Well, first things first, for people who don't know you, and it has been a few years since you've come back onto the blog as a guest interview.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your story firstly, and how did you get involved in blogging?
Well, I started blogging in 2007, and I really started because I actually was working with Declan Dunn. They call him like the godfather of affiliate marketing. Declan was basically on affiliate marketing before anybody knew how to spell affiliate marketing, and his life partner Jody Colvard, and they had a blogging and podcasting program, and I got involved in 2007 and I started blogging, and my first blog was a beauty review site basically.
That's
and
really
that's really
interesting.
how I got started. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So with that beauty site there, what was really the goals behind doing that one? What did you have intentions to do, and what's happened to it as well?
Well, initially, the business model was really sort of focused on advertisement. So I thought that I was going to do reviews for big companies such as Chanel or Yves Saint Laurent or Christian Dior and their makeup and perfume, any new launches they had, and that would bring me basically traffic. And that traffic eventually would be interesting enough for these big companies to consider sponsoring the blog or taking advertisement on the blog. Now, from the beginning, I was working with a media company, which means that they basically place ads on my blog. But when I started, it took, after a year or so of really doing a lot of research and going to a lot of events and writing and tweaking and correcting and whatnot, the dollars were very small. And those big companies had quite a number of beauty bloggers to choose from, so they didn't necessarily have to feel like they had to dedicate thousands of dollars on one specific blogger. So I basically realized that my business model wasn't sort of quite as I thought it would be, and I basically one day decided that I had to find a way to make this work.
Wow, okay, that's really interesting. What I'm just curious about, let's just take a step back as well too, was before you did start doing the beauty type of blog, what inspired you to go online to set up a blog as well? Like you've been through a few courses as well, and very much similar courses that I've been through. What was the inspiration behind it and the motivation behind all this?
Well, when I started my course with Jody Colvard and Declan Dunn, I think that the big aha moment was the fact that they were really promoting blogs as a way or a platform that gave you a lot of control. Before that, I had different websites, and I either was working with webmasters who had the entire control, and every time I needed to change any sentence, I had to send it over, wait for them to change it, they charged me, etc., etc. Or I also had purchased a package through a company where they basically gave you an almost done it for you type of site. But I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe it was $500 a year just to be able to be on that network.
Wow.
So when, that's quite, that adds up.
Yeah.
So when Jody and Declan started really talking about how easy it was to set yourself up on a WordPress blog, and how easy it was for you to create a show via podcasting, that for me was the aha moment. And that really was what sort of motivated me into learning more about blogging.
And also too, a lot of people who jump onto blogging obviously it's not a get rich overnight type of income there. And when you first start out, you're going, okay, I'm really gung ho about it. I'll spend the first few months writing a lot of great content. Second month, you're hoping that you get traffic to it, and third month, you're hoping to make income. It doesn't work out that way.
No, it doesn't.
So during that time, how did you sustain that, and when did you get to see that income starting to come in from your blog as well? Because it's obviously not something that just happens in those 3
No,
months.
it really didn't. I mean, I tried everything. At first, I tried AdSense. I put the AdSense on. People criticized the AdSense. I removed the AdSense. Then I tried banners, and then I got some feedback. Was like, I removed the banners. I just kept trying and trying and trying things. And I believe what happened was that I became involved with the Immediate Edge program with Ed Dale
Oh yes.
and his business partner, Dan Rain. And during one of those lessons, they started talking about affiliate marketing. And specifically, at the time, it was really reviewing products that were free. So you had manufacturers who were looking for people to either test products or whatnot. And I thought, okay, whatever. And I basically thought I'm going to register in one of those companies, which I did. And I'm just going to write a review, which I would always do. And I remember I wrote a review and I thought, I'll just forget about it. And I thought, 3 days later, I was very, very curious. And I thought, let me see if anything happened. I opened my account, and within 3 days, I had earned enough income to cover my monthly fee from the Immediate Edge.
Wow.
And I remember, oh yeah, I was so excited that I went to the forum and I said to people, oh my God, listen up, guys, this happened. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I know it was only $100, but for me, it was a huge deal that I could actually turn that around with just one quick review within 3 days. When before that, a whole year and a half before that, I had worked and wrote copy and met with experts and
Yep.
interviewed experts, you name it, and nothing was happening.
It's interesting because I vaguely do remember this on the forum when you did post it up, and we all said congratulations to you on that forum as well. It was at the same forum
That
at
was a
Yaris.
little later.
Oh,
By
okay.
the time by the time I was posting on Yarrow's forum, I was like really making money. But
Yeah.
when I first started, when I posted on the Immediate Edge forum, it was just $100 here, $100 there, and it was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, because I do remember reading that post about what you did on Yaro's forum. That's the reason why I saw Yaro interview you about that one particular one.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
that was a really big turning point for you, and obviously things started rolling. Did you still continue to go down the advertising route alongside with review blogging, or did you just say, look, I'm going to change this altogether and just focus on reviewing
No, I
products?
have both.
You
I
have
have
both.
both, and since then, I've actually gone out and I found another advertisement network that's actually more interesting because what they do is sometimes they'll have advertisers who come in and they buy all of the bloggers inside their network. They'll buy up our site, so basically our site will be like it's skinned. And when we have those type of promotions, I mean, it really can be interesting. Just one promotion like that could literally mean $400 for, let's say, a 24, 48-hour period. So that's totally passive. When you want to talk about passive income, that is as passive as possible. The only thing I get is an email. Sometimes I have to put something on the blog that they send me. It's pre-done, pre-written, and whatnot. So I do still do both. I do advertisement and I also do reviews.
Wow, okay. That's really interesting. I think a lot of people, even my ears are now pricking up and going, okay, I'm interested in this myself too, and on how you've done it. Because doing a simple product review isn't actually that hard. Anyone can either type it up on their blog or hop onto a video camera, hold the product even and say, this is great, blah, 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 and talk about the advantages, the pros, the cons, etc. And a lot of people go, okay, if it's that easy, then why not everyone doing it? So there's obviously got to be something that you've got to start off with, and also the process that's involved. So how did you firstly start off with, and how did you get that kind of people to look at that review once you've written it? Well, actually, first
Well,
let's start off with how you started it first.
Well, I think it's very similar to Rob Sutton, as you mentioned earlier in our conversation. I started with a niche. I already had a blog. The blog was in a very focused niche. It was beauty. I was targeting women. I was speaking to women. So when it came time to use the Immediate Edge method, I basically thought, okay, well, what products are out there within those different affiliate networks that would fit with my audience. So I started looking inside their databases, and I found a few products. And at first, the products that were doing very, very well for me were products, giveaways by Revlon and Maybelline. And I mean, you name it, all of the big, they were giving nail polishes away and blush and mascara and eyeshadow. I mean, that's heaven for most women.
And
So
that was free, was it? Is that what you're
that
saying?
was, at the time, that
Ah,
was
so the freebies are the ones that get attracted to it too.
the freebies did very, very well. Yeah, the
Ah,
freebies did very well.
because
And
what
then
I
there
yeah.
are products that are not freebies, that there are products that, you actually do review. And to answer your question, how do you get people to come? I mean, it's all about, I guess, internet marketing or blogging 101,
Mm,
and it's about the title. I always made sure that the title had the name of the brand, because I know women, if you're going to look for a brand, you're going to type a specific brand. If you're looking for Christian Dior makeup, it's because you're looking for Christian Dior makeup and
mm,
not MAC
of
makeup.
course.
So that was that was one thing. And if it was a freebie, then I would also have that in the title. If it was a free trial, I would have that in the title. Or if it was something else, I did also controversial titles. Last summer I was promoting or reviewing quite a number of cellulite products, and so I had a title, is such and such product a scam? Question mark. And then of course, like these type of titles,
Mm,
not only are they good for the search engines because I have the brand name, but then also they entice people to click. So
yeah.
that's really how I got people to the site.
Ah, gotcha. Did you do any sort of paid advertising like PPC, or was it all through like natural, organic type of search engine optimization that you did?
Absolutely no paid traffic at all for the activities that I had done on that blog. It was all natural traffic. I did have a number of VAs who were doing a lot of social bookmarking
Mm,
on Twitter and Facebook. We did a lot of that, and a few times what I actually started doing, I started getting a little sophisticated, and I started doing a few videos on YouTube as well. But it's all natural, so I didn't really have to pay for anything at all,
yeah,
and that's why it was so exciting when
yeah.
the money started coming in.
That's the good thing because once you get that organic traffic coming through, it's always going to be there and it'll continually come through. Whereas with advertising, you keep having to throw dollars into it and you don't know. I mean, you do know if you test it right and you do set up the amounts and you do get your return, but you are always just going to be paying for that traffic. But it's nicer to
Abs-
have organic traffic, which you get found on search engines, which is
Absolutely, yeah.
actually coming back to it. You're talking about the immediate edge. When you say the immediate edge, a lot of people might not even know what this is. What is that strategy that you're talking about exactly?
Well, Immediate Edge, that's sort of the coaching program that Ed Dale and Dan Rain have, and I'm
Mm,
sure that most people have heard of the 30-day challenge.
yes.
So the 30-day challenge is their free platform that they have all over the internet. But if you want to actually interact with them at a different level, you have to pay. So that's the Immediate Edge
Ah,
is their
gotcha.
membership program, their
Ah,
paid
okay.
membership program.
Gotcha. So basically, you did have those strategies that they taught because I've gone through the 30-day challenge as well, and it's an awesome program. All the
It
tools,
is.
all the tips, all the backlinks strategies, all the monetization strategies, all work. I've tested it and I've implemented that to a few of my niche sites. So obviously, with that extra support, you could take your step one further and start creating and generating more money much quicker too, because you
Yeah.
obviously have access to Ed and also Dane as well too.
And also all the other members, some of
Oh
them were
yeah.
quite advanced. I remember I would spend sometimes hours just reading results that other members were getting, but also tips.
Mm. Okay. Well, that's really interesting. So now that you've got your blog and you're starting to put reviews on it, you start to make some income. How long did it take you to make that first, say, $100, and then from that, how long did it take you to start making a residual income from that blog?
Well, the first $100 happened within 3 days, so
Okay.
it was very, very, very
Very
quick.
quick.
Very quick. In terms of growing it, it took me a little longer because I do have contracts and I do have clients. So I was really focusing on the clients. And I thought, oh, well, this is really nice. I'm getting all these checks and I'm not doing that much work. And I think in late 2008, I thought to myself, well, if I'm able to do this with this amount of work, what if I put in more time, more effort, and see what's going to happen? So I started really changing my focus, I'd say maybe November of 2008. And by February and March of 2009, I was at a completely different income bracket. I mean, I actually started booking time in my calendar to write reviews and find out what the new products were targeting my list. I was sending out weekly links to my virtual assistants for them to post or to bookmark. So I was really aggressive. So I have to say that as of late 2008, I became really aggressive in all 2009 and 2010 and so forth, really strategically working those reviews.
Wow, okay. And so how much time did you put into those things as well?
Well, I think I was booking two at the time, a couple days where I was booking 4 hours.
Mm,
Now things have changed because actually now I have a virtual assistant whom I've trained to write the reviews. So she knows how to write. She knows,
great.
what are the different components she needs to have. And I actually should say that, one of the reasons why I do have virtual assistants was because of your course. The first virtual assistants that I had who did the bookmarking, I had worked with them for a while.
Yep,
But in terms of like making that leap and finding a virtual assistant who could write, because those ladies are fantastic, but they would not be able to write review.
yep.
The virtual assistant that I have right now from the Philippines, she's absolutely amazing. She's just brilliant, and she's the one writing the reviews for us. So, as I would have to say, maybe 4 to 6 hours a week.
Wow,
But
that's not much.
no, and I write quickly. And at the end, it was a formula. At the end, I knew, okay, I had to have the title. I had to have the name brand a couple times in the post. I had to talk about the benefits. I had to talk about if there were, any things that weren't, I'm not too crazy about this or I'm not too sure. I do a little bit of research on the internet. I'd find some testimonials. And then the affiliate networks often provided me with HTML codes so I can create banners
Oh,
on my
yes.
site.
Yep.
And if I didn't have that, then I basically would go out on the common platform on Flickr and I would find photos that basically were in line with the post.
Oh, okay, that's excellent. So with say 4 to 6 hours a week, now you've dedicated, and plus now you've got your VA. What kind of income would you be expecting from that blog right now?
From that blog, anywhere between, it depends on the month,
Mm,
if I'm working hard at it or not. That particular blog, we're looking at about $500 to $2,500 a month. I would say the 500 was at the beginning. I'd say that right now, sorry, not 2,500, 5,000.
yep.
I'd say that right, yeah, I'd say that right now it would be sitting at maybe a minimum of maybe 1,500 if we're not working at it at all,
Yeah.
and anywhere up.
So,
And so
so
there's sometimes checks that arrive and it's like, oh, okay, great.
so it's actually not that much time when you've got the system set up and you've got the processes, and even now you've outsourced it. It's actually not
Yeah,
much time in investment into it. So at most, probably between 16 to 20 hours a month. And
yeah,
if you're paying your virtual assistant, say, I don't know, maybe $2 or $3 an hour, it's actually
yeah.
not very good. It's a very, very high return on your investment.
We're paying her she's at $2 an hour.
Yep.
She's, as I said before, she's excellent. She writes very well. She understands the process very well. I mean, we showed her, and also it's more advanced now
Mm.
because before I was linking, and I didn't know about linking on the keywords, and she even knew some things that I didn't know. So I really was lucky. I mean, I went through a number of virtual assistants before finding her, but yeah, she does a lot of the work, and also we've integrated article marketing. I wasn't doing a lot of article marketing when I first started because I thought, oh, it's too much work. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
But now with the virtual assistant, it's much easier. So in some cases, she knows she's going to write the review. She's going to have the article on Easy Article and a number of other platforms, and all of those links are pointing back to that specific review. So now we have a system in place, and it makes a big difference.
Oh, definitely. It sounds like this system's working really, really well. What I'm curious as well too, in addition to this, are you working on any other projects, say for example, to build up additional product review income as well from other sites, or is this the only one that you're focusing on right now?
Well, that was the biggest one, and actually, I should actually mention that a few months ago, a super affiliate we're talking about somebody who generates, those people you hear about that
Yes.
generate $50,000 in one day.
Yes.
Well, he's one of those guys, and when he looked at the blog and he saw the niche I was in, he thought, "Ooh!" He actually offered. He said, "Are you selling the blog? I'm willing to pay for the blog." So that's when I knew that I realized that I actually had created something that was really solid, because a super affiliate, I mean, that's their job. They know their business inside out. And for me to get that offer, I was really floored. I do have another blog, which also I've been working, and now we're actually getting into a different business model where I'm creating blogs, a lot of blogs around freebies as well. And these blogs may be short-lived, where I basically build them, I get the income coming in fairly fast and furiously, and then I flip them.
Oh, that's a great. Well, that's an interesting strategy. I know that strategy works for a lot of people as well too, because you're really building an asset, which is a business, and then eventually selling it. And you can either hold on to it to keep that passive income, or sell it out and cash up nice and big.
Yeah, so I'm going to see. I mean, depending. I mean, obviously, if in 3 months, I have 3 sites now that I've built that are ready to go within the next few weeks. If I see in 3 months each site is generating $500, $600 pretty much on passive income, I may wait a bit before selling them. But definitely, it's a new model, and of course, it's all based on keyword and based on what people are looking for on the internet.
Wow, that's excellent. Well, you've got a sound strategy there, and I obviously am admiring all these things, particularly the product reviews. It doesn't sound that hard to do actually at all. And as you said, we could get a virtual assistant, train them up to do that, and put our affiliate links and start selling them and making money from that. I know also too for a fact that you've got a really good program out there that's a blogging income for women. And I wanted to actually ask you a little bit more about that, and share with the audience what that exactly entails, and also how that has obviously come about, from your successes.
Well, it really came about. I'd say that a lot of the super affiliates or big affiliates right now on the internet are men. And a lot of times when you see these new product launches and these guys are flashing $1 million checks and they've generated $100,000 overnight and whatnot. And I think it's a different language that appeals to a different audience. I think a lot of women, they find the internet overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff. It's technically, difficult in some cases. And I don't think a lot of women understand that affiliate marketing might be the easiest way to get started on the internet. You don't need technical skills.
No.
There are a lot of platforms that are free. And I like to say, if you can cut, copy, drag, then you can use these platforms because it's that easy. And basically, that was the reason behind the blog Income for Women. Now, the other reason was basically because the blog that I have originally is a blog that really was speaking to women. It was about beauty. It was about aging. And a lot of the reviews that I did on that blog were female focused. So the whole gist behind the blog Income for Women is it's targeting women and showing them that the internet can actually be your friend, and B, if you decide to target other women, there are products out there that speak to women, and there are marketers who are trying to get the attention of women.
And that's the good thing, because I think there's so many blogging products out there saying make money quickly, overnight kind of thing. And what I like about your story is that it's more realistic, because I can't see myself earning $1 million in 1 year for a blog. It just doesn't seem real.
Realistic.
I mean, it's beyond our reality, to be honest. I mean, if you're naturally already earning $1 million from your business and you go, okay, yep, I can see that happening. But for a lot of people out there, like just the mums and dads, or the people who are just starting online for internet-based business and want to get into something that can generate just a bit of income, $200 to $300 to $1,000 a month sounds... Yeah.
Like, honestly, for most people, if they were able to generate an extra $2,000 a month, working 6, 7, 8 hours a week, I think a lot of people would say that's way better than taking a part-time job, and let's say at Dunkin' Donuts or whatnot.
Yep.
So absolutely. The one thing I just want to talk about, those guys who do make $1 million in a day, some of them do, or in a year, whatever it is that they say. But the one thing they don't tell you is that they are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on paid traffic.
That's right.
And getting into paid traffic is something that you actually have to study and learn, or else you will lose your shirt. It's not for everybody.
Yes.
So when they say, yeah, you know what, I look at my $50,000 day, yeah, it is a $50,000 day, but that person may have spent $20,000 to generate that $50,000. And I think for a lot of people, that's a little scary. And a lot of people don't want to spend $20,000.
No, not in one day. It is so true. And that's the thing about, I found from internet marketing, is that they won't reveal to you all the expenses that go into it. All they reveal to you is that income, which is glamorizing and it's all great and everything. But reality is that like, just like you and me, we share exactly what we have and what we do. It's more realistic. And that's, people are not dumb. People understand how some of these things work. And if you just don't show exactly what happens behind the scenes, that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, it does take hard work, it does take time to build. But, once you put that effort in, you can create passive income. And that's what you've done exactly there.
Absolutely.
And
I do reveal it in the program, and I actually do say to people, there is work involved. It's not going to happen if you just look at your screen and stare at your screen. There is work involved, but the program offers a system. The chapter, module number 7, I like to call it the goose that laid the golden egg, because I basically break down every single day activities that you need to take in order to build traffic to your review blog. I tell you where to get photos. I tell you how to write the articles. I tell you how to write the posts, what you need to put in there. I also have a whole section on outsourcing, and I talk about all the lessons I've learned from you and other people that have been quite influential in terms of teaching me how to outsource. So, and it is not a process that'll happen overnight. I mean, I'm not going to lie, and it would be false to pretend that it happens overnight. These guys who make $50,000 a day, didn't happen overnight.
Yep, that's right. It's taken them many years to build up.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a question out there that people are going to be asking this. I even asked you this before, prior to this interview, was what is the biggest difference between, say, blogging income for women, besides specifically for women, but what is it different to other blogging courses out there? Because there's tons of them out there, and people are saying you can make money from blogging. Just take my course and do it. And there's even other free ones out there as well too. What makes your course different to theirs?
Well, I should say that we do have a few men as well. I got an email the other day from a guy by the name of Tom asking questions. I thought, okay, interesting. But what's different, there are a couple of things. The tone is different.
Yep.
The tone is very much geared towards people who want to take it a little slower. They don't want the hype. There's no hype. What's different as well is that everything is broken down. I have bought a number of those other blog courses. Some of them are selling on ClickBank for $37. And I will tell you that I've sat through them in about an hour. So what these guys do is they tell you what they do, but they don't necessarily tell you how it's done.
Yep.
Now, and the Blog Income for Women Blueprint is basically how it's done. The course is different from, let's say, Yaro's course, because Yaro teaches you how to become an authority blogger. And that's basically, you want to put your voice out there and you want to be seen as the expert. That's not the Blog Income for Women Blueprint. The Blog Income for Women is really about showing you how to write reviews and how to monetize those reviews. And it's also very much geared, like a lot of the other courses, based on a niche, because on the internet it's all based on niche. It's like you basically have to give people what it is that they're looking for.
Otherwise, you could be just jumping around in circles, because there's just so much out there on the internet, and you need to really focus. That's really interesting. Well, I mean, from what I've gathered and also what I've seen from what your videos and so forth, and even the free stuff that you've got there, it's amazing. I mean, even just doing this interview. Sorry? You've added stuff.
We call it, I added this weekend, what we call a quick start program, because some women were saying, well, I don't know technology. Okay, I am going to remove that stumbling block. So I have a series of videos now showing you how to get a Gmail account, because I actually recommended people work on Gmail. So I walk you step by step how to do that. I show you how to get a Blogger account, how to post your first review on Blogger, which literally took me a few seconds, and how easy it is. And so basically the free stuff we were adding, and then also there's tons of information that we give you throughout the course to keep you on track and keep you motivated. the goal is really to get people to do the work and show them it's not too complicated if you have a blueprint.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the struggling point is that I find that a lot of people read the information and then just sit there and just go, I don't know what to do. I need someone really to hold my hands. And this
I don't
sounds
know where
like,
to start.
yeah, exactly. And it sounds like
Yeah.
that you've provided that structure, that blueprint, exactly where to start, how to do it, and just hold them by their hands to do it. And that's the thing. I took a look at your course and it was very interesting because there are so many different aspects that I even picked up myself as well that I have forgotten, to be honest. I mean, we because we're focusing on building authority, because that's what I mostly do
Yeah.
for my blog.
Yeah.
We
Absolutely.
overlook something simple like product reviews where you can generate additional income from our blog. And, that's something I've picked up as well from you. And I have to thank you for that too, as well.
Thank you very much. I mean, another thing that I've started doing, and it's not part of the Blog Income for Women Blueprint. It's part of one of the bonuses that I offer because I
Mm,
show people how else I generate income. But in the last year, believe it or not, I've been getting monthly checks from Amazon.
that's great.
And Amazon is the lowest paying
Yes.
affiliate program I think on the planet. So again, it's all about having systems that work, and it's as you said during the conversation that we've been having. It's also about managing expectations. Those videos out there from some of those bloggers showing you beautiful $200,000 cars and $7 million mentions,
Mm.
those are beautiful, and it's a beautiful dream, especially when you're 23 and you could achieve that. But what they're not telling you is that they're coders, they're PHP experts. They basically been sitting for 18 hours a day in front of their screens working at this stuff. So yeah, they
Yeah.
have a level of understanding of the internet that most of us don't. I am not I'm not a techie. And the information behind the Blog Income for Women Blueprint is really based on somebody who learned the internet step by step without any technical background. I'm not a coder. I'm not a programmer. I even have webmasters creating my WordPress blog. So just to tell you.
That's right. Well, outsource it. I don't even do the coding myself, so I've got my full-time programmer doing all these kind of things. Well, it's a really, really amazing and really interesting there, Chris. Yeah, I'm actually interested in finding out how much something like does this cost if I was wanted to join up.
Well, the entire Blog Income for Women Blueprint, which includes 8 modules
Yeah.
and 4 bonuses, and we have bonuses. We show you how to write articles. We show you how to outsource. We show you how to get over 100 different platforms where you can actually get more traffic to your blog. And the last one is basically other methods that I use to generate passive income on the blog. Plus, as I've said lately, we've just added the quick start, which basically shows you how to set up your Gmail account, how to set up a Blogger account, how to post your first review on your Blogger account, and also actually how to open an account with these affiliate networks. The entire package, we are promoting it. We're selling it at $97 instead of $297.
Oh, wow. That's really good value. I should probably hop on it myself and get it too. That's a lot of good content there for that price. Wow.
And again, I mean, I've bought a lot of programs. I think both of us would agree that Yarrow provides a lot of amazing content. I've learned a lot lately because I'm part of the Brendan Bouchard program, and Brendan is another one of these guys. He always says, if I'm going to price a program at $2,000, I'm always going to give $4,000 or $6,000 worth of value, and he over delivers. And I basically adopted the same model, but for my audience. So it is $97. Of course, it's not worth $97. It really could be sold at
definitely could be worth a lot more than that.
Absolutely, but the idea was to price it at an affordable entry point so that people can get in and don't feel that, oh my gosh, it's like killing me to pay that. But also, once they get in, they'll see that there's a lot of information. It walks them by the hand. And also, I think once they get that first $100, they'll be, wow, this is great. I spent $100. I made my first $100. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little bit that feeling I got with the immediate edge when I realized that, woohoo, next month, my ship is paid with the money I earned from their strategies.
So is that a $97 one-off fee and that's it?
Is one-time fee.
Wow,
One-time fee.
that is
All
awesome.
the information.
Well, that's excellent, and I guess I'll definitely let people know about that as well. At the end of this
Thank
call, you can check it out as well. I'll put a link at the bottom. But what I'm
Thank you.
also curious, just before we do wrap up this interview, I mean, the whole idea behind this interview is just to find out more about how you've done it so that I could share with everyone and provide as much content and value. But before I usually wrap up, I want to ask you one question that I want to leave away with the viewers is, if you're to start again, okay, with your blog or start again with review blogging, whatever you decide, what would be the number one tip you could give people to do first?
The number one tip that I would give people is the domain name.
Oh, okay.
That is a
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is a lesson that I've learned. On the internet, one thing that we're talking about natural traffic, and it's amazing if you are targeting an audience or a niche, you make sure that you have those essential keywords in your domain name. It makes a big difference. I remember somebody in Yahoo's program, he has a blog on Jamaican slang or something of that nature.
Oh, yes, I remember.
And I remember reading that just because his URL was Jamaican slang dot whatever, he was getting 20,000 visitors per month to his blog. Most of it was natural traffic.
Yes.
I was floored. So one thing I've learned is, I would say, domain. And the other thing as well that I've learned by working on my beauty blog is that I could have, with that beauty blog, I could almost have 10 different subblogs on 10 different sub niches. So it could be one on makeup specifically, one on anti-aging specifically, one on cellulite specifically, one on stretch marks specifically. So those, I would say, are two things that I've learned throughout working that have been very essential. And that's sort of on a business angle. On a mindset angle or on a personal development angle, I'd have to say that perseverance, because it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't matter how many videos of product launches that you see with people making millions. It did not happen overnight.
No.
And perseverance is important. And you know, it's hard. It's work. And some days you're going to feel like, oh, I'm not going anywhere. But the idea is just to put that thought behind you and just keep at it. And before you know it, you'll actually have built yourself a nice little blog business part-time.
That's awesome. It's consistency and persistence. I totally agree on that. Actually, as you mentioned, before I forget to ask you, what is the blog name for your health or beauty review blog?
It's mybeautymatch.com.
Mybeautymatch.com. Well, check that out, guys, to have a look at it. Okay, well, to wrap it up, Kritia, how can people get in contact with you and also find out if they have any other questions about your blog income program for women?
Well, they could definitely check out the link that you're going to provide people. So that definitely takes them to a page where my email address is sort of available.
Yep.
But if they want to connect with me on Facebook, I'm at Kritia Miss K. That's Kritia Miss K. So Kritia, my first name. So obviously most people won't be able to spell my first name, but Tyrone will have it written.
Yep.
So it's my first name, Miss K as in Miss MISS Sam K as in Kenya, and you can find me on Facebook.
Awesome. Well, what I'll do is I'll definitely put those links below this video. If you do want to come out and you're watching this on YouTube or anywhere else on the internet, just come to my blog at tyronshum.com and you'll be able to get those links and also get in contact with Kritia. Well, Kritia, thank you so much for coming on to the call today. It's been an awesome interview. I've learned a lot. I've picked up a lot of great things. I'm really ready to take action, get my VA to start implementing some of these product review ideas again. And yeah, it's fantastic to be able to speak to you again. So great. You know, we definitely have to catch up after this. And thank you so much for coming on the call.
Well, thank you so much, Tyrone. It was a great interview. And once again, without you and your amazing knowledge about outsourcing, I wouldn't be able to talk about having a VA doing a lot of the work. I'd be the one doing the work. I think you remember from the first
yes, I remember that.
I was doing everything. So, yeah.
Well, you're welcome. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Now, if you like more resources like this one, you can find them inside Mass Outsource Mastermind, along with video tutorials and step-by-step instructions showing exactly how I use them. To get a 30-day, no-risk trial membership to Mass Outsource Mastermind, simply visit freevideoset.com. Until next time, I wish you success in your quest for outsourcing.